All right. Back. Happy Friday. Tangy
Happy
Talks for
Friday.
February. Victor Feria, welcome back to the Tangy Talks studios. A lot going on this
A
month. How
lot
you
going
feeling?
on. I'm feeling great. Happy to be here and doing this with you. It's been some time, so always get excited when we get to chat. I take this almost like a little powwow, right? A little
Yeah.
little internal communication, and as well that we could share some with our listeners and viewers. So it's awesome to do these.
Yeah, listeners, we just came from a big meeting. So we were on a call for an hour. I'm a little under the weather, but I am drinking my Tangy Talks drink. Matches the color here, everybody. Sponsored by
Very good. On
Roar
brand.
Energy. I love it.
Yeah, we had Super Bowl this past weekend. We had a cool heat event that we went to. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we had a lot going on. So Super Bowl, I almost called out on us with my own Super Bowl flu, but did not do that. But 26.2 million people were expected to call out on the Monday after Super Bowl. That was a fun stat
It's,
that I
it's,
saw. So that is a lot of people having a good time. We need a national holiday
I think so too.
on the day after. And
Time.
then, yeah, we got to go to the Miami Heat game thanks to our fantastic law firm that has seats. If you pay enough and you have the right connections at the law firm, you get these beautiful second and third row seats behind the owner of the Heat, Mickey Harrison. We were right behind him. What do you think? It was your first time sitting those seats?
Yeah, it was incredible. It was I think immediately when I sat down, I looked at you and I said, like, it's so fast, all right? Like you see it from above and you just see like, people and they're much smaller, but then when you're there, it feels like you're in action and you don't realize that they're just like back and forth and this game speed is really fast. That took me like immediately. And then how, huge the players look like. And you
Yeah,
really got to see the size.
they're gigantic. When you really start thinking like these are 7-foot guys, especially on the Utah Jazz that have like 4 7-footers now that are all resting, but are running like gazelles up and down the court, super fast, gigantic dudes, amazing athletes. That's why I always say like NBA has the best athletes, I think, at any of the professional sports.
I agree.
I know you got
It's
some
a,
good
it's a,
athletes in football, and I don't know about baseball. I know you got some like
yeah, we got
freaks that
some
can
chunky
jump and
guys in there.
run, but they all look a little beefy, like they're at the barbecue.
Yeah, no, it was definitely
Hockey's up there too with their fighting, but
definitely.
basketball players, man, just big guys and
Yeah.
athletic. But
And the
also
size
the
of their calf
hospitality there was
muscles.
good. Yeah,
Oh yeah, we're talking about two different things: the calf
sure.
muscles and
Yeah, we're
hospitality.
talking about calf muscles are huge, must bulging. This is
But the
a
hospitality.
hospitality podcast, but we're gonna tie it all back together here. But it is impressive to see when you're sitting behind the owner, and I always think, right, because you see Mickey Harrison, who owns Carnival Cruise Lines, and then we got to dine in their lounge that they have there in the South Lounge, which was a great buffet
It's really
restaurant.
nice.
Good quality food. Everyone's super nice that works in there. And it just shows you, like, as an owner, yes, like, you have to think, like, how many seats. I was looking at watching him look, how many seats were empty, like, looking around at the entertainment. Was it good for the crowd? I saw him looking at, like, the servers in our section, because what you don't realize when you get to a certain section of the arena, you have your personal servers in that level, right? Different than having
Yeah,
to go run to the concourse to go grab your own food. So we were spoiled. It was nice. But it got me thinking, like, oh man, there's a lot of details that go into just putting on a game. The music, how loud it is, the new screen for people to enjoy, are the players quality that we're putting out, right? There's a lot that goes into owning those teams. The
it's
store, do
crazy.
we have the right merch for people to buy? So you just start looking
Yeah,
at all the revenue streams throughout that arena. It's pretty impressive.
it's a huge production. It's a huge production. There's so much stuff involved, right? You don't that you get there, you enjoy, everything goes off without a hitch, and then I'm sure on the back end, right, it's a huge operation. So, but it was excited. I'm super grateful to get to have that experience. So thank you for that.
You got it.
Definitely now I don't know if I'm ever gonna feel the same when I go back to the
It's hard to go to the other seats. Still a good game if it's like a playoff and the energy is there. But
oh
on a regular
100%.
old game, it's good to be in that second row
That was a
next to
good
Mickey
time.
Harrison. But talking about owners and hospitality and all this fun stuff, why don't let's flip this. We'll stick in the sports world. We have some big events coming up in the sports world here in South Florida and around the country. But really, the majority of our homes are here in South Florida. We have boat show going on right now,
Right now.
which is great. All of our homes are sold out. this weekend, all of our properties. Then we have the Miami tennis tournament, the Miami Open coming up, which I haven't been to since they moved to the stadium where the Dolphins play in a while. I loved it when I was in Key Biscayne, but they moved up there. And then the big ones really start coming is FIFA coming up this June. And we're already seeing aggressive pricing and bookings, but we're hosting our own event, or we're hosting part of an event. Victor, why don't you explain what's going on? What do we have coming up?
Yeah, so February 17th, we're going to be at from 11 to 6. Favor, the association that we are the co-chairs down here in the South Florida chapter, are hosting this event to bring new hosts, right? Current host, vendors, people together to learn more about, what they could potentially see, and to get them in line with, all of the processes and all of the regulations, and make sure that, we have all together a successful hosting for this event, right? Because June and July, we're seeing it, like you mentioned, right? The rates are skyrocketed. We're seeing a 30% increase in the market of short-term rentals. So people are setting up their property now, putting their property up together now to get ready for that event, right? So we want to make sure people are doing things the right way and not setting up for party homes, right? And having ways to see if there are people coming in that are wanting to have those parties and that ruckus in the house. So it's going to be a cool event. There's going to be a bunch of speakers. We're speaking at 4 p.m. We're talking about compliance, being good neighbors. So all great topics that we're going to be discussing. So I hope everyone gets to go. And if you do,
talking on that day,
we are talking. We're talking.
Oh
we're hyping up. I think we were going to start the meeting, and we're going to rile everybody up. But now they switch us over to the 4 p.m. So
it's my fault. It was my daughter's birthday, everybody. I can't be there to start off the meeting. I can't miss my daughter's 10th birthday, people.
Absolutely.
All right?
Absolutely.
So I'll be there. We'll make sure we're there. But we do got to work on our slides. So we'll make something look nice here with our team to make it look pretty as we get up there. But yeah, it's a good thing to see.
February 17th.
February 17th. If you can make it, we'd love to see you out there. And the other part is look, there's a lot of people putting up their properties for FIFA around the country, but just in South Florida, they're expecting a 25% bump. So if you thought that your property, unless you're one of the premier ultra luxe properties, right, you're going to raise those prices up and, make a killing, you really still have to be competitive. Raise those prices because people are looking. Just be prepared. Like if you do raise it up and people book, they may cancel to find another deal. And I think there's going to be a lot of people booking places now and then searching for others and then canceling last minute. So if you want to have those strict cancellation policies, you can do it, but you're going to miss out on certain things. I just don't think it's going to be the huge money maker that everyone thinks. There'll be a lot of money in the city. There'll be a lot of money coming through. But you have a lot of hotels to compete with. You have vacation rentals. You have friends and family that they're going to be staying with. A lot of drive-in for a lot of these too from other cities. Right. I've heard already a lot of people that are traveling city to city to see the game. So just be prepared. If you want to come learn some more, I'm sure you'll learn a lot about the stats and what we're seeing. But we'll also make sure that you're prepared and ready to go. And if you're a first timer, definitely come out so we can prepare you on what to host and what to expect.
Yeah, and you touched on it, Steve. I wanted to ask you a question on the revenue side. Like, what are you doing? For our home specifically for those like several months of pricing them and setting up like customizations to make sure that we're set.
I thought you were doing. I'm doing that. No, I'm just.
Oh no! we got to get on this.
No, we priced it way up. Definitely like 30-40% higher than it normally would be for the summer in South Florida, where it's usually the slow season. We definitely saw some bookings come in the day that we expected, where they announced the games.
Lineups.
Right, mm-hmm. We were ready and prepared at that time. We saw people book. Like they use the term called pacing, which means where you're at this year compared to last year, and we're like 550% up versus last year because so many people were booking ahead of time. But we still have some great deals out there. But you're seeing it happen in the bigger homes getting booked and some of the smaller homes. So like these small studios booked and then some of the bigger homes. But the in-between, I think there's a lot of inventory in those 3-bedroom homes that people are going to be scanning and waiting. And people are getting smarter. You see it over the last year, people booking last minute. So I think you're going to see some of that too. where they bought a last minute ticket or they bought something, online or a resale from the ticket flippers, or they just want to be in the city where it's happening, and they're going to make some last minute decisions. But hold your pricing. Don't think that it's going to be like you can just raise the price up, 10 times the amount and get that booked. Also, what I love doing, and we've talked about this before, is I like looking at the resorts in the big cities. And so look at what the hotels in Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, and Miami Beach are doing and say, all right, where are they priced? A single regular hotel room is X, right? So let's just give an example. The Fontainebleau's charging $800 a night for a standard room where they normally would charge $400. All right, I have a 3-bedroom. Maybe I'm going to be in that range because that's going to be the value for that guest coming. So instead of paying $800 at the hotel, they pay $800 for a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom that's maybe not on a premier location. So there's a lot that goes into it. We look at the comp set of every property around. There's a lot of competition now in South Florida. There'll be a lot of competition in the big cities. And Airbnb is putting out a lot of ads now and a lot of marketing because they know these are some big events and they make money. They don't care what the price is. They get, a piece of everything that gets booked. And so does Booking and VRBO and Hopper and Google and every channel that we're on. So everyone is really focused on this, but the big events do drive money. So I'm excited to see what happens here. So hopefully that was a decent answer. It's not a perfect science, but
that's a great answer. And I think one of the things that we saw, and I think maybe we could touch on it because we did see it during the holidays, right? And you mentioned it a bit ago as well about the cancellation, right? That we're seeing as the events get closer, or as the time, right? This happened, like I mentioned, in the holidays. As it getting closer, we started seeing some cancellations, and a guest would cancel, and immediately we would get a new reservation, right? So we started seeing that trend that people are using or doing like almost like placeholders, right? They're like securing their spot, making sure that they have their property set up. And especially if they want like quality or they want premier listing, and then closer to the event, right? They're snooping around, looking at other potential properties, seeing if there's another one, with similar amenities and similar, uniqueness, and then potentially canceling and then rebooking elsewhere, right? So we saw that trend, and I think it's been happening all across the board, and we started specifically in the holidays, and now we could potentially see something like that coming into this event as well.
Yeah, we see it a lot. Like I just saw last week in one of our properties, right, where someone booked this thing 4 months out, and then we're like, well, hey, I found another property that is charging XYZ price. Can you match that price? And if not, I'm going to have to cancel. And we're like, well, that's half of what you paid, and they are not a super host. They're not a guest favorite. And, we wish you the best. And then we got another booking, but it wasn't at the same high price. So I think it's part of the game. It's just something you have to deal with now that, Airbnb made it where everyone's pretty much flexible, right? They want the flexible cancellations and make it as easy as possible for guests. And you just have to be prepared. But
exactly,
I think that we will see a lot of that. So I don't want people to think that they're going to get rich on FIFA. Don't go out and buy something super expensive banking on FIFA. We've talked to a bunch of owners about this already. Right? It's FIFA, raise up my prices. And I said, you're not going to get booked. So if you like to be empty, we could do it for you. If you want to get booked, this is where we need to be at. So a lot goes into it. We're not just guessing on one property. The other thing too, if you're in a building, this goes out to our people that are in buildings, because we're ultra competitive and we look at those. If you're in a condo, hotel, or a building, you're competing. If it's not well run, you're competing against hundreds of individual owners. And you may think that you have the best listing in that property. There might be a case that you do. And if you do, you're always going to do well. But if you're not a premier furniture, great product in that unit, professional photos, people like us managing your pricing all the time, it's going to be tough for you to win, because you have people who don't care. They just want to get dollars in. They're not sophisticated enough. And they undercut everybody, right? And so all of a sudden that drops the floor. So they got booked at $99 a night when they should be at $299 a night. And all of a sudden everyone starts dropping. So just be careful in the buildings. You got to hold the line sometimes, but sometimes you got to drop if you want to make money. So it's hard. It's hard for everyone out there.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Yeah, we specialize mostly on like family homes, right, and single family homes and things like that we don't necessarily see that as often. But the few condos that we do manage, we see that, pretty often. We go onto their websites, we see how many, listings are available during, specific times, and we can gauge a little bit better what, the competitors are doing. So it's pretty interesting. I know if you also want to, find out and learn more, where should they definitely be next week, February 17th?
Hey. Yeah, come
Right
on and
on
learn
cue.
at the Favor Smart Hosting Series. Yes,
I
we'll
love
make
it.
sure you're prepared. So we don't want to scare you, but at least if you're going to host people, make sure you're a good host, and you get good reviews and make our city look good, and do right by the guests that are coming to stay with you. But Airbnb, like we said, is always going to make their money, and they shared yesterday that they actually did pretty well in this past quarter. So they had their first quarter, or last quarter, they were reporting how they did, and they were up 12%. So they did $2.79 billion in revenue.
Incredible.
And it's always amazing to me because they do all that without owning a single home or hotel, just for having a great platform, great marketing, and really, I think their customer service is getting better, and also customer service for the hosts that list on there. But they do make it pretty easy for everybody going to Airbnb and the experience. We still see 60%. It's dropping little by little each year, but so they're making a push. But we still see about 60% of the bookings from Airbnb, and then the rest are getting filled in now with a lot of new different booking channels. But those booking channels are hard. Like, they don't help with fraud prevention. They just kind of like, this is your booking now, deal with it, right?
Make sure you got all your eggs covered. Yep.
So what do you think of that when you see that? Do you like working with Airbnb still? Do you not?
I mean, again, you touched it on the user-friendly part, right? I think that's what, I always tell our clients and owners, I'm like, Airbnb, didn't, reinvent the wheel. They just, came in and really polished the wheel, right? And really made it user-friendly, really created it, for host and for the guest side to be seamless, right? And I think what interests me the most about that report is how much in the past, 5-6 months of push they did on the experience side, right? Versus the hosting and the property side, right? Like enough that you even go on their website and the first thing that pops up are experiences. So that was interesting to see that they're, still seeing their margins. I know a couple of hosts and several owners, saying, hey, like they're shying away from their core business, right? Which is us, the host, the people that, rely and use them for the hosting. So it was interesting to see that the experience, I wonder if in that report it shows if there was like any correlation between the two, or if there was any experience based versus.
Yeah, used to be able to come in here and see all different kind of home types. Now they have their services
And experiences,
which is cool, which I think is pretty fun. You get a little photo shoot done. You get chefs now, which is interesting to see, like the chefs coming through. This one looks pretty good. But there's a lot of different kinds of things that you can now do while going here. And then you said experiences, so services and experiences. So you get your tours, do all different fun things. I've never tested it out. I feel like
neither.
we should do it one day just to see what they're promoting in our city.
They have a couple cool things.
Paddleboard.
That's a cool concept, right? Book your stay, then book your things, the things to do.
Yeah, but look, photography, chef, massage, meals, training, makeup, hair. It'd be cool. We should do that for our team one day. Let's book one of these things and see what comes through. We'll do a training program. Let's do some training in our homes or on the beach. Very cool. Well, that's why they're doing what they do, because there is no one else doing that right now. So I think they'll continue to push that, and we will continue to see, different ways to do vacation rentals and hospitality overall, just travel. So more and more. I'm excited to see how they can put it together. Anyhow, a lot going on with Airbnb. We have a lot going on. We're adding more and more properties, and I think it would be helpful to explain, maybe as for beginners or even people in property management, we're very systematic about how we bring people on. Maybe you walk it step by step, like how we go check out the property, make sure it's something we like, and then how we help owners get set up. You've been doing a lot of them right now. You're in charge of all of them right now coming up.
Yeah, it's been the last 2 months have been right. It's people prepping in for the busy season, right? Taking advantage for all these events that are coming in. So these last 2 months have been, positive in that end. And we have a great process. I think we're improving it every month, every year as we go on. I know a lot of people now calling us as well to like look to invest, right, and see what they should do and what the first steps. And to us, it's always like the same answer as far as like, ensure the regulations are in place, ensure that if there is an HOA, that they allow it, and there's no ways that they could change the rule that in the next 2-3 years you're not allowed to do short-term rental anymore. But for us, when a new property comes in, right, we always think of a checklist, right? We always have a checklist in place that we want to follow. And for us, there's two important components, right? First, obviously, you want to look at the property and see the property to see if it fits the profile. We know and understand what the guests are trying to see or want or expecting to see when they stay on the property. So that needs to check off, right? And we do a thorough inspection and make sure we communicate with the owner what we want to see. We have a checklist in place that we share with every owner, so they have an expectation or understanding of what is expected to be available in the property. So that mark needs to check off. And then the second one, which is very important, and then some, I know some management companies or owners may overlook that part. The component is the owner, a portion of it, right? The owner and the property need to coincide and need to have the same vision as you as a company. Because if you have standards, you have processes, you have a vision, and that doesn't align with the owners, we have seen right in the past that can get us in trouble, and the visions kind of collide, and therefore not a good relationship or good partnership. So those things need to check off from us. We've developed now, which I think is pretty cool. We developed like an intake form where on the onboarding process, we're sending that information, and then that information is shared to our team directly, where they're able to build everything, create like the dashboards where we have all of the property information on there. And then what has been key, and we've been doing this now for a year, and if you're not doing it, is definitely that onboarding call, right? Because the owners, especially the ones that have never done this and are new to the game, they don't know what to expect, right? We're hospitality people. We've done this numerous times, but it's super important for us. So definitely want that onboarding call, and where you're going through all the processes and all of the standards. And we try to minimize it as much as we can, but it's very important. I think I need a little sip of water over here. My throat
too much information. We got him. You need to get hydrated, listeners, because he's sharing so much value here with you. But what I would tell you too, what I love is that if you're an owner thinking about listing, is we come meet with you and really educate you on what you need at your property, because there's so many things that we walk into a property and say, oh, it's perfect. I was like, there's no art on the wall. It looks like an insane asylum here. They just have white walls and white furniture and white sheets. Like, no, we need to add some life in here and some warmth. Where are people going to charge their phones when they're laying in the bed? Where are people going to be able to make coffee? There's no coffee machine, right? There's all these little things that you have to be prepared for when you have somebody coming in as a vacation rental or any hospitality space. It's also marketing it too. And so if you haven't yet, listeners and viewers, I want to make sure that you are checking out our website, because we do share a lot of information here. You can see all the properties that we manage across not only South Florida, but now in Georgia and North Carolina. You can sign up to talk with us at any time. And also, if you don't want to, you can find out on our blog and our Tangy Talks, everything that we're sharing in the news, and all of our local partners. We share a lot of free things that we really want to help people out as they're getting started on this journey. But I am excited for some of our new properties, like these featured properties. They're really awesome. And you could actually come stay with us at any time. We would love to host you if you're listening. And we got Charleston, Miami, we're in LJ, Georgia, we're in the mountains of North Carolina, and all over South Florida. So we would love to have you anytime staying here with Tangy if you just want to experience that. But if you want to make some money, you can also come on here, book some time with us, and we'll make sure that you're set up for success. And also be straight up with you of how we can't work with you because you're just not there yet. So we've done that a bunch, and then people come back ready and prepared to make things happen.
We're very active. A lot of stuff that we talk about here, we post on our blog section as well. So we're really active. We're sharing about 4 articles per month where we're sharing things that we talk about, things that we're seeing, trends, important changes. So we like to provide as much information as possible, and keep our owners and then general public as well that is interested in this space as much knowledge as possible, right? Because things are always changing when it comes to short-term rental. Not everything is set in stone, so it's super important to keep updated and going to events like we're hosting, and and finding information as much as you can.
But if you want to hear about sports and what the basketball players' calves look like, it's only here on Tangy Talks. That's where you come to for the mix of everything going on our day. I think we should start doing this live. We'll take some live viewers. It would be hilarious to see what's going on out there. But we do have a lot coming up. It is a Friday where we're sold out, which we're very grateful for. We have a lot of flips coming up. We have a lot of our team members doing things, and it is a time where we're all getting sick. You can hear it with me. I think Victor's starting to cough a little bit.
I almost lost my voice here. Yeah.
Team members that are sent to urgent care. So you just really have to have your systems in place. We haven't missed a beat, so I'm proud of our team for really stepping up, especially when people are sick and not feeling well. And this goes out to a couple of our team. Like, you don't have to kill yourself. If you're not feeling good, stay home, call us, let us know. We'll figure out, get you covered. We don't want you getting worse coming into work. We're all brainwashed. You know, I know from my hotel days, you showed up to work if you were dying, you still had to be there.
Yeah.
Unless you were bleeding out, you weren't going home. So I don't want that for our team, but I appreciate everyone stepping up and making those things happen. But a busy couple of months coming up. What's an event you're most excited about other than our favor event that's coming up that you should be at February 17th? What other events are you excited about?
Yeah, I don't know the specific dates, but I know Verma, we keep hearing really good things about. I believe it's this year it's either in Vegas or in Arizona. So that event will be great. March 18th. Breezeway is hosting Elevate, which is their yearly online conference that they host. I also will be speaking on there at 1 p.m. Nice. So I've signed up for it as well, and we're going to be talking about other cool topics. Breezeway, as you probably all know, it's a software that is used for setting up cleanings, tasks for the team, reporting. It's more on like the operative side. You could do also like a lot of like your inventory on there. You could even communicate with guests. It has a ton of features. We've been working with Breezeway for some time, and they do great work. And they always put this event together, which is an online kind of seminar conference where last year they had a really good turnout, almost 1,000 people that showed up. So it was cool to see. I talked last year as well, and I could see everybody like communicating and everybody sending shout outs and telling us where they're from. So it's a cool conference. They do a really good job. Corin from Breezeway does a really great job of putting together a strong panel.
Yep.
So that event I'm really excited for. And I know we have a whole lineup, and I know we're wanting to attend a ton more. I think I have a good list here. Give me one second.
Right. We'll put it out. Make sure to check out our blog. Come to the website. You can scan it here on the top corner. Here is a QR code that'll take you right to our website. If you're scanning this and you're one of our 2 viewers on YouTube, you'll be able to scan this and come right to our website, to the blog that we were talking about, get in contact with us. But listen, we shared a lot today. And if you haven't yet, make sure to like and subscribe to Tangy Talks. And we're available on all streaming platforms. So you can make sure to get our fun information here for you. We always like being able to do that. And if you found anything of value here today, make sure to pause this, copy and paste, send it on over to one of your friends, because they're definitely going to find some value in it too. And we would love to see you at the event, February 17th. Make sure to get your tickets over on the Favor website. Well, Victor, anything else we want to share before we sign off?
No, I think we covered everything. Correction. I want to do a correction because this is live. We're not reposting this correction. The VRMA is in Nashville, Tennessee this year. So October 4th and the 6th. I don't want people buying flights to the wrong place, but
they already did. Now we're going to get sued. Good job, Victor. A correction here. Well, everybody, until next time, hope you enjoyed Tangy Talks, and we will see you in a month. Bye.